Spider-Man, Across the Spider-Verse will talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe's multiverse if a piece of recent news is to be considered. The news comes through respected scooper Daniel Richtman. Richtman argues that the conversation in Across the Spider-Verse will explicitly recognize the circumstances of the 2021 MCU installment Spider-Man, No Way Home, in which Tom Holland's web-slinger mistakenly damages down the walls between the multiverse's different existences. Characters in Across the Spider-Verse will even note Doctor Strange's role in No Way Home, stating the relationship between the two movies even more direct. That said, Sony Pictures Animation has yet to publicly remark on Richtman's account, suggesting it should be handled with a grain of salt. Speculation of potential overlap between Spider-Man, Across the Spider-Verse and the MCU has amplified in recent months. One of the main reports online claims that Holland will appear in Across the Spider-Verse. This whisper alleges that the animated second film's protagonist, Miles Morales, will embark into a live-action universe at one point, meeting Holland's Spider-Man. Moreover, it attributes Across the Spider-Verse's delayed release date to lease negotiations between Sony and Holland. Holland is not officially connected to the exhibition at this moment yet. The English actor isn't the sole Spider-Man franchise vet yet to enter the Across the Spider-Verse cast. Voice actor Yuri Lowenthal lately demonstrated that he delivered yet to be asked to repeat his principal role from the 2018 PlayStation 4 game Marvel's Spider-Man, despite this embodiment of Spidey materializing in Across the Spider-Verse. Lowenthal counted that he stayed hopeful about being asked to enter the production, although he acknowledged that his involvement is far from assured. There are many ways they could play that, and one of those ways is, much like they showcased our suit in the background in the first film, you might just get to see him. I don't know. I hope, he stated. Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse celebrity Nicolas Cage is in a similar vessel, having announced he wasn't invited to partake in the Oscar-winning movie's follow-up. Like Lowenthal, Cage declined to rule out the chance he would return to Spider-Verse again while stating that he was in the dark concerning Sony's goals for the franchise's fate. I don't know, he stated. I really don't. I wish they would bring the character back. I love Spider-Man Noir, too. There are multiple takes on wall crawlers throughout the Marvel multiverse, most of whom are different from Peter Parker. Miguel O'Hara, Miles Morales, and Ben Reilly are different from Peter both in and out of costume, presenting narratives and viewpoints that are significantly distinct from the original webhead, Peter Parker. However, one Spider-Man variant is and isn't Peter, though he may be only as significant as the original Spider-Man. Spider-Man India was the principal character of a miniseries that reimagined the Spider-Man story via a South Asian lens. He is obtaining a new series and his cinematic appearance in Spider-Man, Across the Spider-Verse. The character's prospect is ongoing, particularly concerning the international flavor of the Spider-Man franchise. Here's why the Indian Spider-Man could be the webslinger's most prosperous variant. The original Spider-Man, India comic observed the Spider-Man recipe that fanatics reached to understand and tender, but it was too diverse. Peter Parker was Pavitra Prabhakar, who lived with Aunt Maya and his Uncle Bhim. Spider-Man's usually sci-fi theme was substituted by enchantment and was given the abilities of a spider. Norman Osborn and Eddie Brock were reconceived as Nalin Oberayanathi. Their alter egos were sinister creatures rather than a costumed evildoer and an alien symbiote. Harry, Mary Jane, and Dr. Octopus were also modified. It all created the label and its globe distinctively. Designed by Sharad Devarajan, Jeevan Kang, and Suresh Sitharaman, along with director Satyajit Ray, Spider-Man India was one of the foremost spider people in the multiverse. However, he only got a push beyond a few minor appearances in Spider-Verse crossover storylines. This could efficiently alter his forthcoming Hollywood opening, and Marvel could eventually do this embodiment justice. Spider-Man is one of the most famous superheroes, stretching far outside the coasts of America, where he was accepted. The different Spider-Man films have gained excessive amounts of rupees at the Indian box office, and it's apparent that there's nothing misplaced in translation with the friendly neighborhood hero. Thus, the fact that Spider-Man India has to have much of a drive is disappointing, as he could serve as a gateway to get comic books to come in foreign markets. It's reasonably reductive to think that India would instantly consume something so clearly meant for them, but given the excellent blowout of the 2000s Spider-Man, India, more comics of that quality could only unlock things up for Marvel in that demand. The same goes for films, notably providing the MCU's diminishing returns. China, which was once a significant box office seat for Marvel Studios and other film businesses, mainly rejects Hollywood films exceeding specific movies. At the same time, India presents an option, with its immense number of residents already absolutely in love with Spider-Man. It demonstrates how he could be the most profitable Marvel hero to task with getting in even global audiences. The new comic book series for the character is a step in the right direction, but other experiences for the characters are long past due. In other Spider-Man news, Batman Beyond, the animated series in the late 90s, almost returned with a new animated undertaking. Since the executive's departure as the leader of DC Films, the movie's position remains to be decided. On Twitter, industry insider Jeff Snyder said that last DC Films president Walter Hamada employed F9 scribe Daniel Casey to pen a screenplay for an animated Batman Beyond assignment which would have been DC's answer to Into the Spider-Verse. Hamada was superseded by James Gunn and Peter Safran, who is restructuring the DC universe. Earlier, Snyder said that Gunn and Safran nixed a solo Batman movie starring Michael Keaton, which would include an adaptation of Batman Beyond. The movie reportedly would take place after the circumstances of The Flash, which will assist in the launch of the new DCU, and would include seeing Keaton revive his fling with Catwoman, although it is unspecified if Michelle Pfeiffer would reprise to play Selina Kyle. The film was written by Christina Hodson, who has written other DC movies like Birds of Prey, the forthcoming The Flash, and Batgirl, which was also rescinded. When Chapter 1 of the new DCU was announced in January, no word of any Batman Beyond undertaking was being created. Instead, Gunn publicized that the studio is pushing ahead with a Batman project named The Brave and the Bold, featuring Bruce Wayne and his son Damian Wayne. Any movies that do not match Gunn's interconnected universe will collapse under the Elseworlds umbrella, including The Batman Part 2, Joker, Folie à Deux, and the animated series Teen Titans Go! The animated series Batman Beyond concentrates on teenager Terry McGinnis becoming the next Batman, where he would fight crime in a futuristic Gotham while being steered by an older Bruce Wayne. The show was a monumental triumph and remained a fan favorite to this day. It also generated a spin-off called The Zeta Project and an acclaimed animated movie Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. Despite only surviving 3 seasons, numerous aficionados still exclaim to catch more of Terry McGinnis on the silver screen and think that Batman Beyond even has a place in the DCU. Spider-Man, Across the Spider-Verse swings into cinemas on June 3, 2023.